Welcome to P2F Fighting. I'm James, and let's talk about this. Today I'm going to rate karate as a style for the street, self-defense style for the street. This is a hard one because, one, I'm a bit biased. Okay, I am. You know, I'm a black belt in karate. That's my black belt certificate. So, a little bit biased to karate. But if you've watched my channel, you know why I don't consider karate certain styles to be very good at all. So I've taken about 3 different styles of karate, and the one that I am a black belt in is an offshoot of Shotokan. Okay, I started my martial art journey with Kung Fu. And so Kung Fu has a lot of circular movements. I'm going to do a video on Kung Fu also. And some karate styles have a circular movement because karate is from China. A lot of people will get it wrong and tell you karate is from Okinawa or from Japan. It's not. Karate started in China. I believe damn near every martial art started in China. It was people from China who moved to Okinawa, and then when they started to not get along and Japan started taking over, and then they wanted to change the self-defense style to not have Chinese names and not mean the because the original version, the original kanji version of karate meant Chinese hand, or the hand of China, Tang Dynasty hand, or Tang Dynasty hand, because was a Chinese style. And then they changed the kanji later because the Japanese didn't want to accept that it was from China, and then instead of keeping it as Chinese hand, it then became empty hand, and the kanji changed. But it doesn't change the fact that karate's from China. It is. Anyway, that was all politics. There are many styles of karate, many out there now, and offshoots of the offshoot. But the most popular styles are Goju-ryu, Kyokushin, Shito-ryu, Shorin-ryu, Shotokan, and Wado-ryu. I have taken Kyokushin and Shotokan extensively, and a little bit of Goju. As far as karate goes, I still rate it higher than Aikido, higher than Taekwondo, not as high as Muay Thai. So Aikido got a 0, Taekwondo got a 4. I'm gonna give karate a 6. I'm gonna tell you why. Certain styles of karate I think are very good. Most namely Kyokushin. Kyokushin karate is fucking amazing for the street. You want to learn a style of karate that's a traditional dojo style that is still highly applicable for the street, it would be Kyokushin. Kyokushin is so similar to kickboxing. If you watch K1 kickboxing, K1 Grand Prix, you will see guys in there. Andy Hug was a famous one. He died. He was a famous one. Francisco Filio. These guys took Kyokushin and they're still winning K1 against Muay Thai fighters because the style is very similar. It's a lot of low kicks, knees, a lot of punches. But in Kyokushin, a lot of their style is punches from the neck down, which is what makes it not that effective because they don't punch the head. They kick the head, they knee the head, they do everything else to the head, but they don't punch the head. So if you watch a Kyokushin World Grand Prix, they always do their puncher from the neck down. And I don't like that, and that's the reason why I don't rate karate higher. Because Kyokushin, I think is the most effective street style. But I took Shotokan too. I like Shotokan a whole lot. Some karate styles use a lot of circular movements because they're also based in Chinese styles, right? Shotokan is one that is not. Shotokan is very linear, straight movements. It's here to there. And I love that about Shotokan, which is why I picked it. And that's why the style I took was called Kosu Temisei Kan, which is a offshoot of Shotokan. It's the same thing almost. Very straight, linear, just A to B, and you're going down. That's what it's about. Gichin Funakoshi is the one who created Shotokan. But he was not the master of karate. They said he was the master or the father of karate. That is not true. It was actually his teacher, Anko Itosu, who is the master and the father of karate. But karate is a full style. When I say it's a full style, it's a complete style. A lot of people don't know this because they watch movies and don't. And a lot of the real gory stuff is pretty much sported out of karate, which I hate. But karate has grappling, throwing, joint locks, just all kind of stuff. There's grappling in karate. People don't know that. I know that because my sensei, well, one of my senseis, because I took several styles, Master Ralph Sumlin, who was the one I was with for 8 years. I called him my dad, who my father that I never had. He showed me some grappling. He showed me some throws in karate because Gichin Funakoshi was influenced a lot by Jigoro Kano, who was the inventor of judo. That's why Gichin Funakoshi also had the dogi and the colored belts. All of that was judo influence from Jigoro Kano, who was his homeboy. So he took some things from judo and put them in karate. Now, if you try to find a dojo right now in 2021, unless that teacher was directly influenced by one of the masters in Japan, or I don't know, they may not show you any grappling. They may not show you any joint locks or throws, but I did learn them. So I know that Master Ralph Summer, who was my teacher, taught me all those things, and I believe even his students, the Freemans, I believe they taught it as well. So I can promise you there's throws, grappling, and joint locks all in karate. It's all there. It's a very complete style. It's also a style that can be used today in MMA. I got a list here of fighters that you may know whose base is karate. Lyoto Machida was a light heavyweight UFC champion who does Shotokan, same style I do. Bas Rutten and GSP did Kyokushin. Bas Rutten was UFC heavyweight champ and king of Pancrase many times, and he ended his career on a 22-fight win streak. And GSP, George St. Pierre, did Kyokushin karate, and he's considered the GOAT of mixed martial arts. Michelle Watterson, who was the Invicta champion now in the UFC, did freestyle karate. These names, yeah, and John Makdessi, I think he's a lightweight in UFC right now. They all did karate, all of them, and that's their base. And so it shows that karate can translate to MMA. It can, because they use equal hands and feet, which was my problem with Taekwondo. Taekwondo is mostly feet. Now you have some styles like Kempo. Kempo is a lot of hands. If you've ever seen, what's his name? Jeff Speakman. Kempo, that's Kempo. He's pretty impressive too with them hands. But Funakoshi believed that you should not ever have to use karate unless it's life or death. Because Funakoshi believed that an expert in karate can deliver a technique that will kill you with one hit. This is what they taught. This is what he taught in Shotokan. He can down an opponent and kill them with one hit. This was in his quotes, that one blow from an expert could mean death. This was his quote from learning Shotokan. This is some serious stuff here. So Something that can deliver one strike, one kill, that was from karate. I'm not going to talk about what I know, but I know some pretty savage stuff. And so, all from karate. So, yeah, I'm a bit biased because I took karate I did hard training for about 12 years of karate. And I still practice it here and there. I'm more into other things now, but yes, trust me, karate. If you can find a school that's not a McDojo, or one that's not just promoting little kids and putting them through little black belt clubs and dragon clubs and all of that bullshit, find you a real school that's gonna teach you the real techniques. I would implore you, study, look up each style. There's a million styles of karate. Go have a look at a class. If it's a school worth its weight, then they will let you take some classes for free. When I went to Fairmont Karate Academy, which is where I did most of my studying, I went there and they let me train for free at first. And I was 16. I was the youngest person in the class, the youngest and the smallest. Then I found Kyokushin when I went to a school called Salem Teikyo University in West Virginia. They had an all Japanese karate club. And me and my friend Alan went in there and we had to fight our way in. They didn't want us to join because we were foreigners. And we fought our way into that club. We just kept showing up and fighting and fighting and fighting until they let us in. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. You talk about tough, those guys are tough. Kyokushin has something called what is that called? The 100-man fight. Oh my God, I gotta remember what that is. But they have to spar 100 people in a row without stopping. It's amazing. Some of the things in Kyokushin is amazing. I think that karate is a great style. It's a younger style, about 200 years old, from Japan on. I mean, but it's a complete style. If you can find a school, a dojo that teaches punches, kicks, throws, grappling, and joint locks, if they can teach you everything, and they do teach weapons, the problem is a lot of the weapons are not like nunchucks in size and tonfas. Tonfas are okay, but nunchuck size, kamas, these things, you don't use these things in the street. They do teach the bow staff, which is useful, the short staff, tonfas. These things are useful because if you can learn them, then you might find a broomstick, you might find a stick, something you can use to defend yourself. But still, after saying all of that and showing you my black belt and all of that, it still doesn't compare to a ring art. Because other than Kyokushin, you don't go full contact in most other styles. There are a couple other styles that I don't know about, but I'm going to look into. But I haven't seen full contact sparring all the way out from beginning on up. I did full contact sparring as a black belt. And even in tournaments that were point tournaments, if you're a black belt, you were allowed to fight with no headgear and hit pretty hard, even in point fighting. The one style while I was world champion, that tournament, you could kick to the groin legally, hard as you wanted. I saw a guy get taken out because he tried to do an axe kick and the other guy did a backspin kick right into his groin, cracked his cup, dude was gone. So karate can be pretty savage, which is great for the street. My style was highly aggressive, which fit me perfect because I love that shit. I want to beat the shit out of somebody. If you want to come fight me, you're gonna get a complete ass whooping. That's what I believe. So that's why with the Aikido one, where they care about the harming their opponent, I'm not with that. I'm with pounding your face in is what I'm gonna do. And so whether people like that or not is neither here nor there. If you don't like it, don't attack me. If you attack me, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. And that's what's gonna happen. And I learned that here. But still, boxing, wrestling, BJJ, Muay Thai, kickboxing, European kickboxing, these styles are still better. They're still better because you can train in full contact fighting at all times. So it's still better. That's why karate gets a 7 out of 10. Or 6, 6, 7, 6 out of 10. Gets a 6 out of 10. Because there's still improvements that could be made. But there's a lot of promise. And now karate's going to be an Olympic sport. Which is annoying because I won every damn tournament other than the Olympics. And now I'm too old. That's just some personal stuff. But anyway, if you are a karate student, stick with it. Try to get as high as you can so you can learn the advanced movements. But try to find something that's had let you do full contact sparring so that you can get some real training in. And train hard, because what you do in the school is what you're going to do in the street. If you practice like shit, you're going to fight like shit. Okay? So believe that. Anyway, 6 out of 10 for karate. Like and subscribe. Holla at your boy.